Hi, everyone. I'm Connie Myers, and I have my dear friend Cami Baker with me. Cami and I have come up with a fantastic program that we can offer to everyone that wants to do something different, a different niche in their business, whether you are a real estate agent, a financial planner, a business owner. This is something that all of you can do. If you're a nonprofit, what a gift. And also, if you have property you would like to donate, what a gift. Cami, thank you so much for joining us, and I really appreciate you doing this for everybody.
Well, it's an honor to be a part of the board for CKM, and it's also an honor to have stumbled upon this crazy secret niche that has been so undertapped and underutilized for 100 years. But with help from folks like yourself, we're spreading the word so that nonprofits can truly become funded. And as you mentioned, businesses can also be socially responsible. Corporate social responsibility is a big deal. It brings in business. So let's get down to what we're here to learn about today. Connie, I'm going to turn off our videos and just dive into the information we're here to learn. Friends, this is about legacy listings. Every donation of real estate that is being donated. Well, the only way we can pull the equity from that real estate to give to the nonprofit world is to sell it. And the good news for our real estate friends is that means it is a listing. And we take it a step further. It is a legacy listing because it leaves legacy for everyone involved. Now, we like to show many different options, ideas, people, situations of donated real estate, because this is not about abandoned real estate people can't get rid of. And it's also not about just, uber multimillionaires like Mackenzie Scott. But we do want you to know palatial estates like this are being donated, along with a lot that was purchased in Florida 20 years ago for $5,000. It can be large or small. We want you to know Connie's nonprofit, all 1.5 million nonprofits can benefit this way. Now, we are the real agents of change. The acronym is the ROC. We've become known as the ROC Revolution, and we were created because they are all worthy causes. Friends, animals, children, veterans, the environment, universities, churches, being prepared for disaster. So many causes and communities need funding. And that's why we were created. Now, just to kind of give you an example, typically nonprofits are doing good old-fashioned traditional fundraisers, same ones you and I have been doing for the last 10, 20, 30 years of our careers. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see that the average fundraiser's profit is a margin of 30 to 50%. The average bake sale brings in $600. But on the left-hand side, real estate brings in an average of $600,000. Why is that? Because cash is only 3% of the wealth that we have access to, and real estate is 43%. So instead of carrying a bucket from the well every time we're thirsty, what if we just created a pipeline and just turned that spigot on so that we just had never-ending flowing funds because of major gifts of appreciated assets? Now, my name is Cami C.E. Baker. I am the author of Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not. We've written the book. We have the country's only certification for all professionals, all nonprofits, all fundraisers. We have a CE course in Florida, 3 hours credit that's given to realtors for that. We have List the Legacy Listing Month in April, and we travel the country in our RV. It's got a 5-foot image of the book on the side. Friends, this is a revolution. It's gone way past a movement. This is a revolution because we believe Connie's nonprofit, your nonprofit, all realtors, all property owners, everyone deserves to know the truth. This is just an example. We were actually written up in Yahoo Finance a couple of years ago talking about how this is such the buzz. people are excited. They want to learn about this. And when our book came out in June of 22, we were written up in the Business Observer, and actually Goodwill in Sarasota saw this article and called us and said, hey, we bring in plenty of money, but we have 200 nonprofits that are hurting, that are always with the handout, needing donations of money, food, clothing, shelter. Can you teach them? So it is getting the eye of such huge conglomerations. So we want to encourage you to get a free copy of the book. There is a digital download of it. We'll make sure that you get a copy of that. Now, the question is, what would the cause that you care about do with $600,000? And at the end of this presentation, we'll have Connie tell you exactly how many kits for kids could be purchased with that kind of money, and or how many of those 30 million people that we're wanting to impact could be touched with $600,000. Now, why do we say 600,000? Because that is the average equity, friends. That comes from one donation of real estate. It is not 3 to 6 months worth of planning for a gala or a golf tournament or a car show that ends up getting rained out or maybe not done at all because of another pandemic. This is people who are cash conservative, asset abundant, need a tax deduction, and need to know what their options are. Now, the opportunity is all over this country. These are numbers of how many nonprofits are in each of these states. There are 1.5 million nonprofits, 300,000 in California, 168,000 actually in Florida the last time I looked. They are everywhere. And every one of these nonprofits, if they knew that this was available to them, could let their donors, their social media, their realtors, their CPAs, their board members know, yes, they can get gifts just like this one. Just over a year ago, $7.5 million, another beautiful estate. And it's not just big houses. We have stories of people who are donating $25 a year for 32 years. And they saw a video like this and they found out they could donate real estate, and they had a second cabin in the Poconos. So the fact is, it's been happening for 100 years, since 1917. U.S. government put it into play as a tax deduction. $9 billion a year annually is donated this way, but it's been through just a small handful of the elite who have been learning how this works. And the real agents of change takes a stand for everyone and says, no more. Everybody deserves to learn about this. 600,000 on average in equity. Friends, this is why only 3% of what people have access to is cash. 43% of our wealth is in real estate. It is the largest asset class in this country, always has been, seemingly always will be. And the fact is, no matter what city or state, no matter what year it is, no matter what market, real estate is hot. And fundraising, well, it's just not anymore. So you're probably asking yourself, if this is all true, then why have I never heard of it? Why are realtors not being taught about it, which is a really great question? And why are nonprofits struggling to fundraise when there is so much funding available in this untapped asset class? And to really understand the answers to these questions, we need to take a look at the 3 ways that a property owner can help a nonprofit with proceeds from real estate. Now, the first way is if the donor were to sell the property and give the proceeds to nonprofit world. And unfortunately, this is a very, very common thing that we hear. It's a common thing that you would hear if you were to tell a nonprofit that you had real estate. They well, go sell it, give us the proceeds. But the reason that that is the worst scenario is because ultimately the government is going to get a bigger chunk than they deserve. The donor is going to get the least amount of tax benefits. Ultimately, the nonprofit is going to get the least amount of money this way. It's just what people do when they don't know any better. So now that you've seen this, you know better. If you ever hear a nonprofit say, go sell it and bring us the proceeds, stop and know that there is a better way. This is the worst way. Now, the second way is, let's say you're a donor and you've got a condo in Florida. You love Coni. Her nonprofit is based out of Las Vegas. And let's say you live in California. See, it doesn't matter where you live, and it doesn't matter where the property is or where the nonprofit is. Let's say you want to give that Florida condo to her nonprofit in Vegas. Well, the problem is, if you've got a mortgage, it's got to get paid off. If you want to pull cash out, she'd have to give you the cash in order for her to take title. She would be responsible for the maintenance and the upkeep. And my goodness, it's in Florida. What if it blows off the map during hurricane season? The fact of the matter is, nonprofits don't want to do all the work and then be asked to maybe split the proceeds with someone else. They just don't have the time, talent, or treasure. And friends, you're watching a video of a nonprofit who has all the talent in the world on their board. I'm the author of the book. We have presidents of boards of real estates on the board. We have huge real estate company owners. We have attorneys that do estate planning. There's plenty of talent here. But the problem is the treasurer part. Who's going to pay off these mortgages? Who's going to put their name on the dotted line? At the end of the day, I would never suggest that Coni's nonprofit or any other try to take real estate themselves. And the fact is, 99.9% won't do it. They won't even ask for it. See, Coni and CKM is taking a stand and leading the charge to say, we will ask for it because we know that there's a better way. Now, this is the hardest way. If she were to try to take title herself, just like any church, any Boys and Girls Club, any veterans groups, any of them, the second way is the hardest way. And that, my friends, is why the Real Agents of Change was born, and why taking these legacy listings for realtors is a no-brainer, why attorneys and CPAs and financial advisors who have clients that they know need estate planning, want to be more philanthropic, are looking for tax deductions, why this is a no-brainer for them to have this as a specialty. You see, the donors are a big fat yes. Why are they a yes to donating real estate? Well, 80% of them do it because they don't have the time or the talent, but they got the treasure. 3% of their treasure is in cash, 43% of their treasure is in real estate. So 80% of them do it for altruistic reasons, and 20% of them do it because it's a good tax deduction. There's a lot of different taxes that come into play here. And here's what those property owners deserve to know. As I mentioned, this real estate can be donated from anywhere. In our scenario, we've got a condo in Florida, we've got a nonprofit in Vegas, and we've got a property owner in California. Anywhere, any type, residential, commercial, raw land, primary residence, office buildings, restaurants, doesn't matter, any type, for any nonprofit. 1.5 million nonprofits, and they all qualify. Now, this is an example of some nonprofits that do have a real estate team lined up and ready to go. They take real estate just like the Salvation Army takes 2,000 pieces a year. And if your client or your donor or your property owner friend needs a tax deduction, any of these are wonderful, and they'll get their tax deduction. But here's the problem. Coni's nonprofit doesn't get funded. Your favorite veteran group doesn't get funded. We can't bring this money into the communities that we want to support and love, and we can't guarantee that the realtor is going to get paid or that other people are going to be able to do a campaign around it so that they can let people know how socially responsible they are. So we show you this slide because we know you're going to do your due diligence. We hope you are. And when you do, you're going to find these other groups that do take real estate. That's beautiful. It goes to show the word's getting out, people are wising up, and this is happening. So most nonprofits are saying no to gifts of real estate 99% of the time because it is so complicated and it is very risky. And most of them have gift acceptance policies written right in their procedures that say they don't take real estate. And ultimately, they don't have the capital to pay off the mortgages or to put on the roof or the holding costs for the 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, however long it might take to sell that property. So they're just saying no. So at long last, what you're here to learn about is the win-win-win. The way that this can help everyone involved. Now, the donors get a win because there is no capital gains tax on what they donate. This major tax deduction is based on the appraised value of the property. They are giving smarter from their wealth bucket. There's story after story of donors who were only donating 25 bucks a year. And now that person, after donating a piece of real estate, now is donating $500 a year to that same nonprofit. There's a shift in mindset. This gives them the ability to leave legacy that's very strategic and really makes a difference more than pocket change. Now, nonprofits, it's a win-win-win for. Dr. James, who wrote the foreword for our book, Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not, has proven that when nonprofits are able to accept the proceeds from non-cash assets, they can grow at 5 times the rate of when they only accept cash. The Nature Conservancy has proven that the same donors that give cash will give 3 to 7 times more because they are cash conservative and asset abundant. And no new donors are needed. Now, CKM is a brand new nonprofit, but with the hundreds of people that already support it and thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are attached to those handful, the donations are there. We just need to click share and let people know. And it is a win-win-win for the realtor because, first of all, every donation has got to be listed to liquidate it, to give the proceeds to the nonprofit world. And this is not a listing that is something that we want the realtor to do at a discount. We're not asking the realtor to make a donation. We want to give them a full commission to give hundreds of thousands of dollars to the nonprofit world. This is a beautiful way for all for-profits to attract 87% of their marketplace. Think of Starkist Tuna, Dolphin Safe on their can. Think of Black Rifle Coffee, owned and operated by veterans. Think of Tom's Shoes. Every pair of shoes that are bought, they donate a pair of shoes. See, companies are socially responsible because it's the right thing and because it's smart for business. And ultimately, as a for-profit, as a independent contractor, as a human being who wants to build our businesses around an altruistic, heart-centered, beautiful thing, it just makes sense to make money while making a difference. So here is that third way that we have been alluding to. Number one is if the donor sells it and gives the money to the nonprofit. Absolute worst way. Number two is if the donor gives the property directly to the nonprofit they want to benefit. It is the hardest way. 99% won't do it anyway. The third way is that the Rock has experts to handle the donation. Just like when you go to a website and click on donate and you put in your credit card, a couple of days later, that nonprofit gets cash. It's called credit card processing. Well, we have real estate processing, which makes it risk-free for this nonprofit, for any nonprofit. There is no money out of pocket to handle the transactions. There's plenty of capital. If there's roofs that need to be put on, holding costs, taxes, whatever needs to be done, the property does not need to be free and clear. It can have a mortgage, and the donor does not need to donate the full value of the property. They can pull cash out. They get the full array of tax benefits. Usually in 30 days, they're off the deed and have their tax benefit. The nonprofit world this way gets the maximum donation. All nonprofits qualify. You see, this is the win-win-win. This is the way that everyone involved benefits. This couple donated 129 million just a couple of years ago. You see, they are cash conservative, asset abundant. They are at a place in their life where they want to leave legacy. They want to give back because they cannot take the property with them. Friends, it's part of life. People that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, shoot, even those in their 40s and 50s that are leaving this planet and have acquired assets, one thing's for certain, can't take that house in Florida up to heaven. They got to do something with it. Why not give it to Connie's nonprofit and do the right thing? So what we're saying is you can be the go-to, a certified charitable real estate specialist. You can be a specialist for all nonprofits, all high net worth clientele who need and deserve to know what their options are. What about all those multiple property owners all over the country? What about the ones in your marketplace? What if they were reaching out to you? Hey, I heard you gave a $500,000 check to some nonprofit called CKM. What can you do for our nonprofit? You can be that community leader that is seen as socially responsible. Friends, we see it all the time at the golf tournament. There's a logo on that flag at the hole. Those companies do that, not just because they care about the veterans or the animals or the prepared awareness that is happening. They also do it because it's smart for business. It does attract more clients. It attracts more realtors. It attracts more property owners. It is attractive to be socially responsible and to really make that difference and to feel good, like knowing that every day when you get out of bed and get ready to go to work, what you're doing is making a difference. When you're the industry expert, I mean, imagine not just one CPA, not just one financial advisor, not just one realtor, title company that you're working with. What if there were dozens or hundreds of any of these specialties or all of them that were going to you as the specialist in your industry? What about the 8,000 nonprofits that are in your marketplace that have staff and volunteers and board members and social media and email list? What would it look like to have your real estate company, your attorney company, your CPAs going and meeting with their donors, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of donors, because you're leading the charge and helping them give smarter to those nonprofits? You see, they're all going to want to work with you when you know what your competition is not even is completely clueless about. You can be the only realtor, only CPA, only any for-profit, helping property owners give smarter, helping all those nonprofits to bring in an average of 600,000, helping your community to leverage real estate for real change. You can be the solution that your company, your career, your cause, your community so desperately needs. Another example, this property was donated 2 years ago to Martin Luther King. Now, this is our last example, and we're going to wrap it up. Berkeley Humane Society in December of 21 had 12 lots donated. The gentleman needed a tax deduction, and he got it in December that year. When this property closed, Berkeley got a check for over $400,000. After being around for 50 years, they had no idea. No idea it was a thing or it was possible or that the money was coming. They said, can we make more of that? Yes, you can. Friends, this is how simple it is. They picked up the phone and they said, hey, Mary, thank you for that $50 at the last bake sale. Every penny counts, helping these puppies. Listen, the reason we're calling you, we've recently learned that gifts of real estate can fund our nonprofit in a massive way, just wanting to spread the word, see if maybe you can share a video or a social media piece for us. And lo and behold, they found the second piece of property. This woman had a house that her mother had left to her in Carmel, California. She was never going to live in it. She was fine. She was well off. She donated that property and they got another 600,000. Now notice 400,000 in April, 600,000 in August. You see, this is one nonprofit who had two donors, not 2 years worth of car shows and bake sales, two donors in a 6-month period, no big marketing campaign, no tens of thousands of dollars, no venue, no band, no raffle tickets, a little over $1 million. This isn't pro forma. This isn't what if. This is what happened. This is how it works. So we are creating a fundraising campaign with Coni. We want to help her raise $30,000 in 30 days to help 30 million people. This is what's launching her nonprofit. And when you get certified through the Real Agents of Change, which includes coming to the master class, we do them monthly on the third Tuesday of the month live. You can come as many times as you like and bring 2 VIP guests with you. Who is that minister or that fundraiser or that realtor or that CPA or your mom or your brother who's running a business, whoever you want to invite? You get certified. You have 12 months of certification and you get the ability to use the logos, etc. Promotion, you get featured on our Rock page. The course includes the master class recording, so you don't have to come live. You can listen to it today. You can listen to the master class. You get the master copy of the workbook, the exam, the licensing agreement, the branding guidelines, the resource link, and you get certified. And you can hang that on your wall and put it right in your listing packet, right behind your cash register at your business. You can put it right there on your desk at your nonprofit that you are a certified charitable real estate specialist. You get featured on our database. And what we're doing with this campaign with Coni is it is $400 to get certified. And we are giving her 50% of that. All we need is 150 people at $200 a piece to raise that 30,000 for her. So not only are we helping her nonprofit, we are helping you to bring this to your community. And that $9 billion a year could, should, would, can, will go to 29 billion a year as per experts, Dr. James and more. When people like you hear this from people like us and we go spread the message. So feel free to scan that code, go to that website, and I believe Coni wants to have a little word with us. So I'm going to stop sharing screen.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Cami. I have to tell you, the program that she has put together is going to serve so many people. She mentioned all the different kinds of financial advisors. She mentioned the real estate community. But you could be a hair salon in Toledo, Ohio, and be able to benefit from this. As she mentioned a couple times, 87% of consumers will do business with an organization that has some type of social cause. So you're going to stand out more if you want to do it for your business. But more importantly, I hope you'll take a look at this and really analyze. People might say, well, I don't know anybody's going to want to donate real estate. I can tell you, I was with Cami and going through her program almost a year before I remembered that I was born and raised on a farm in Nebraska. And when my mom passed away, my dad had already gone. Us girls didn't know anything about farming. We gave my brother bought the property from us, our share of it. And about 5-10 years later, he turned around and donated it to the hospital that we all were born in. My grandmother was the baker for it. And it was a very special spot in our heart. But he did it the worst way. He did it by auctioning the property off for ended up getting $2.46 million for it. And then he donated the money after the auction. So that was absolutely the worst way to do it. The hospital obviously wouldn't accept the property because they didn't have any way of maintaining it and all of that. So they didn't want the property. So they wouldn't take it, just like she talked about. That just shows you. And I had totally spaced it. I had totally forgotten about it until one day I went, wait a minute here. I've been a part of this. You too. I mean, there's people out there right now that you know, and maybe it isn't a multi-million dollar property. Maybe it is a vacant piece of land that somebody doesn't want and they have a cause. So reach out. We're doing this. It's 30 days to raise $30,000 to reach 30 million people. And by the way, that 600,000 average, that would give me 30,000 kits for kids. So the Kits for Kids is a program that I'm passionate about. And what we want to do is put a kit in the hands of every child that goes in the bottom of their backpack. It has safety items, that has a tracker in it, and it's going to help us protect our kids, which are desperately needed right now. 76% of parents right now are worried about their kids' depression and anxiety. So we can make a difference. We can give a peace of mind to the parents, and we can give some protection to the kids. So please take a look at this. Cami's generous offer of giving us 50% of the proceeds from the specialist is not only going to benefit our nonprofit, but we're out here talking about this to other nonprofits. We're going to be talking to other real estate communities. We're going to be talking to CPAs and financial advisors about this. So if you please sign up and take this course, I tell you, it will make a difference in whatever business you are in. You'll get your
Hey,
$400 back more so.
You're throwing in a little bonus too. Tell me about your
Oh,
leadership.
oh, absolutely. So we have two things we're actually including. We're including our book, and we're including a free class on how to be a certified crisis knowledge management preparedness foundation specialist ourselves. So you're getting all of that. And normally it would go for $400 as well. So you're getting that for $400 donation to just Cami Singh. So that's it. Please sign up. The link is right here and in the box, and sign up and take the class. Thank you so much for joining me, Cami. I really love the work that you're doing and what a difference it's going to make to so many people and so many animals. So let's get started. Thank you so much.
Welcome.